Today in Honolulu, the 30-meter telescope's future is in jeopardy as the NSF cuts its funding.
Okay, so here's where we start. Welcome, everyone, to Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett. We're reporting straight from Honolulu and ready to dive into today's headlines.
Thanks, Garrett. Let's open the book on this. The big news today is, honestly, about the 30-meter telescope. The National Science Foundation, that's the NSF for short, has officially pulled its funding for this massive astronomy project set for Mauna Kea.
Totally. NSF's decision is tied to a broader budget proposal from President Trump's administration. It slashes the NSF budget by 56%, and TMT, as ambitious as it was, didn't make the cut given its skyrocketing costs, from $1.4 billion to $3 billion.
That's so wild. And it's not just about the money, right? Years of delays coupled with intense protests from the native Hawaiian community. Mauna Kea is sacred land, and you get why people are upset.
Absolutely, Leah. This project was a big deal globally. It had huge stakes for worldwide scientific collaborations. Now, without NSF's backing, the future of this flagship project is pretty shaky. Plus, Hawaii's economy, which counts on scientific funding heavily, might feel the ripple effects.
Real talk. The impacts stretch beyond economics. It's pushing forward conversations about indigenous rights and land stewardship, which is sort of close to my heart. Also, there's buzz about NSF's real motivations. Was it just budgetary, or were the protests also influential?
That's a solid point. The TMT's been a big leverage factor for other observatories at Mauna Kea. Anyway, with this financial setback, economic and educational benefits promised to Native Hawaiians are under threat.
Let's shed some light on this. Next up, the art scene in Hawaii takes a hit. The NEA, that's the National Endowment for the Arts, has cut funding that's essential for groups like the Asia-Pacific Dance Festival and Hawaii International Film Festival.
Yeah, crazy stuff, right? These festivals were already set for kickoff when the funding news dropped. The Asia-Pacific Dance Festival is missing $25,000, about a quarter of its budget, just weeks before the event.
The Hawaii International Film Festival isn't faring any better, faced with a 20% budget deficit. The NEA's shifted its funding priorities to focus on national heritage and specific community projects, which leaves our local arts scrambling.
I could get behind that idea of aligning with certain priorities, but as you said, it's a last-minute yanking of funds that's concerning. Are local artists and creatives finding themselves at a crossroads?
Honestly, what a twist. With NEA grants providing critical access, how local arts groups navigate these financial waters remains to be seen. They're vital for community engagement, and now there are big question marks on their future projects.
Let's keep it moving. Notably, the protests at Mauna Kea have reignited since the NSF announcement about TMT. The news has, escalated tensions.
Totally get where you're coming from, Garrett. The community's response has been potent, with Native Hawaiians and activists standing ground. Its heightened visibility doesn't just affect TMT, but brings broader environmental issues to the fore.
Yep, and TMT's consortium kind of feels the pressure all around. There's that push for better protection of sacred sites, and these protests emphasize the need for respectful negotiations with other observatories at Mauna Kea. Those are the land use stewardship priorities, right?
What resonates with me is the peaceful nature of these protests. It's real activism rooted in community, but it begs the question, should scientific projects override local cultural values?
Puzzle that one out. Let's switch it up to our economy next. Big changes there. Federal research funding reductions impact Hawaii's financial landscape.
That's close to the heart of it. Hawaii's economy carries a significant dependency on federal research funds. Beyond TMT, the NSF cuts are echoing loudly.
Like, economic opportunities linked with science ventures are at stake. The local government and universities are scrambling for alternatives, so it's all hands on deck, figuring out how we fill the gaps.
True, although, real talk, this tight spot is urging a reevaluation of economic strategies. Instead of relying heavily on research funds, diversification could be key.
Let's keep this going. Finally, there's loads of uncertainty for Hawaii's future arts events post-NEA cuts, right? Planned events face financial hurdles, problem solving through community efforts.
And with crowdfunding and local support pooling in as a way to fill the gaps, that's something worth exploring. These arts play huge roles in cultural stories and unity.
Nailed it. However, uncertainty lingers for artists and cultural educators' income too. With national arts funding landscape shaken, who is filling these management boots?
That's a recurring theme. Mobilizing for art sustainment needs compassion from all sides. It's crucial, honestly, for resilience in a society that thrives on expression.
All right, that ties it up nicely.
And there we have it. Tune in again tomorrow for more updates.
Stay curious, folks, and enjoy your day.